Now, I understand you guys have now a handheld device. Can you talk about that and how that works? Because it seems a little bit different, of course, if it's handheld versus the bands themselves.
Yes. So the bands are pneumatic. They've got this air bladder inside. So it's always needs to be filled up with air, and then the air needs to be released every 30 seconds.
And that's usually through a cable, like
through a connector tube.
Yes.
Just a very small connector tube.
Got it.
And that allows that allows the air to go from the handheld unit through the connector tubes to inflate the pneumatic bands. And 30 seconds of air in, 5 seconds of air out, and that continues. That has been very popular. That's sort of our workhorse model, if you will. But then we have a lot of people, especially as we're getting more and more into wounded warriors, people who are paraplegic, quadriplegic, amputees, etc. And the cords, the connector tubes, were literally an impediment for people to do something. Again, we're talking about not Olympic athletes. We're talking about people who had limited mobility or limited strength. So our latest model is simply a Bluetooth version where we have the bands, we have a compressor built into the bands, and the people use their mobile phone to actually activate the compressor on the bands. And that allows people to be much more mobile. You can have your phone up to 40 meters away. So you can be in one part of the house, and you could be folding clothes on the other part of the house. You can be a soccer player who is, practicing penalty kicks or different plays, and they could put their phone at the, in the midfield. Yet the Bluetooth connection enables that band to inflate, deflate, inflate, deflate as you see it. Or you could be working in the office. You have your phone near your computer, but you're called into a conference room. Now, granted, most people don't use the bands in a conference room, but some people do. And so these handheld units or your phone is the mechanism to inflate the bands and then deflate the bands in the protocols that you see fit.
That's pretty cool. Does it make a sound? Would people know in the conference room that you got your KAATSU on and that it's suddenly inflating and deflating?
Yeah, well,
we've always
give it away
because some people want the beep. They want to know when the inflation is starting or ending, and some people don't want the beep.
Yeah.
So more people wanted the beep than not wanted the beep. But now that we have many units out in the field, we have a lot of people who say, I travel on an airplane or I share a cubicle with somebody and they just don't like the beeps. What they do now is they put their jacket or a pillow over the unit so the beeps are muffled. But the next unit, all the beeps will go away, and that'll be in April of this year. So
it'd be interesting to hear something beeping on a plane and not know what it is, and you're sitting next to a person using KAATSU and maybe thinking it's something else that's a little bit more worrying.